Okay. Oh, look, there we go. I believe we're ready filters, and I'm gonna drop this expander here. Let's see. I think that's you guys. If you can't hear me, please let me know in the chat. We're gonna get started here. Let me. All right. Let's stop the music here. Really good. 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 All right. Good. We're kind of getting everything set up here. We had to clean the computer here. Let me fix my. All right. There we go. Everything getting back. All right. Trying to get everything back to functioning here. We're good to go, I believe. Here we go. All right, there we go. Okay, and tonight was actually an important show. An important show because there was something that happened in Canada, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I needed to bring it up because this is something that we are definitely looking at in the future. We know it's coming, and although it would appear, that under Donald Trump and what Hegseth did. And see, they were making it out like that what Hegseth was doing was moving towards Christian nationalism because of these religions, the official religions that the U.S. military recognized. Well, yeah, so I went and looked at some of those recognitions that they got rid of. And guys, this is some. One of them was like, let me give you an example: Church of the Spiral Tree, a Wiccan church in Alabama with less than 1,000 people following their Facebook. And you had atheist. Atheist was on there. It's such an oxymoron to recognize atheism as an official religion because and I am one thing that I've noticed on X, there is a group of people that really does hate me, and it's gay Reddit atheists. They fucking hate me, and I love it. But we're gonna talk about Bill C9 in Canada, and at first, like a lot of these combating hate speech laws, it sounds in theory like yeah, okay, I can get with it, but if you have any sense at all, and you know anything about the power structure, then you know that this is on the way to the government having full ability to persecute Christians. And that is what they're working towards. That is their end goal because listen to me. And you know what? I'm not. This is going to really get the gay ready atheist on me. But when you're here in this life, you're going to serve one of two gods. Even if you're an atheist, yeah, well, I don't, but you're still serving one of two gods. And by not saying, I don't believe in anything, then you're serving Satan, whether you like it or not. And I find it hard to believe. I find it hard, really, how the atheists still exist in general. And I find one of the common denominators in atheists is they think they're smarter than what they really are. And I think atheism is this stretch for not smart people to feel like they're some type of academic or something because it was such a, it was um like this thought process that and academics, high academics are full of atheists because all of these people have got too smart to believe in a man in the clouds is what these are the common things that the atheists try to say. And like I said, if you dig very deep into a conversation with any of them, number one, you're going to realize that 98% of them act like they know things about scripture and they fucking don't. Other than they'll find a verse that will. Yeah, buddy. Can you say hi? I guess so. Yeah, you can't. Hold on, let me pull it up so you can see the.
Hi.
Yeah, look, there you go. You can see it. I ain't got the other monitor today, so I can't. I kind of got to close it. Um, but I find it just absolutely impossible. Also, like depression, like I cannot see, and this is, once again, we can only speak on what we can relate to from our own experiences, but I can't see how anybody can look at the things that are happening in our world today. Um, Look at the supernatural things that have occurred. Um, the things that they're telling us now. How can you look at all of these things? And on top of that, you have the amazing discoveries with the Shroud of Turin in the last few years. And, that's something that people, um, for example, this guy um, started on his regular, like, gay atheist, whatever they say, there's no God and I love cock, or whatever. But uh, he started on that, and I brought up the Shroud of Turin and asked him to look into this amazing discovery and the things that were discovered with this, and to show him this. I directed him to a video on YouTube, and I will also direct you guys to that. I'll leave it in the links, or maybe we'll watch some. It's called "The Jew in the Shroud," and it's a gentleman that worked on this team, and how this experience led him, unquestionably to the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which the data that they have um, found with the Shroud of Turin proves this. And and the TED Talk is just this Jew describing how these discoveries, opened his eyes to Christ. And I posted it for the gay atheist, and uh he was like, "Oh, you're just a Jew lover." And I thought, buddy, you've never watched a single second of any of my content, have you? I'm not exactly pro-Semitic. So, just showing you, these people, they don't want to think. They don't want to hear. They don't want to see. They're so, they think they're so smart. That's my problem with everybody today. And just like Socrates says, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything. But everybody thinks they're a genius. They think they've got it figured out. Just like these gay Reddit atheists, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I'll never in my life, I don't even read this stuff because I'm not going to listen to a grown man whose breath smells like balls. I'm not going to do it. I never will. And, yeah. But I don't see how this is a thing. I don't see how people can see the things happening in our world. And think that, oh, there's no God. We're on a rock, just nothing. We're just nothing on a rock spinning 1,000 miles an hour in space, and there's no purpose to any of this. That's whatever, man. Whatever. But the reason that I thought tonight's show was so important to do was this Bill C9 in Canada that's passed the House of Commons and their Senate. And we're going to read a little bit about it. And we're going to talk about why this is going to come to America. All right, so let's take a look at Bill C9. All right, let's talk about the status of Bill C9 right here in front of us, the Canadian Constitution Foundation. Bill C9 has passed 3 readings in the Senate and House of Commons. Because the Senate amended the bill slightly, there will be one more vote in the House of Commons to confirm that amendment, which the government has already agreed to support. The bill will head to the Governor General's desk for royal assent. When the Governor General signs the bill, it will formally be law. The bill will come into force, meaning the changes will take effect 30 days later. Uh-oh. How will Bill C9 affect religious expression? Bill C9 has removed the good faith religious expression defense from convictions for criminal hate speech. It is illegal under Section 319(1) of the Criminal Code to publicly incite hatred by communicating statements in any public place that incites hatred against any identifiable group, where such incitement is likely to lead to a breach of the peace. It is also illegal under Section 319(2) of the Criminal Code to communicate statements other than a private conversation that willfully promotes hatred against any identifiable group, and under 319 2.1 to willfully promote anti-Semitism by communicating statements other than in private conversation condoning, denying, or downplaying the Holocaust. An event so true that they will put you in jail if you say it isn't. Before Bill C-9, if a person charged with public incitement of hatred, willful promotion of hatred, or willful promotion of anti-Semitism could establish that they, in good faith, expressed or attempted to establish by an argument an opinion on a religious subject, or an opinion based on based on belief in a religious text, there would have been a full defense to the charge. This means they would not have been convicted. Bill C-9 has removed this defense, putting Canadians at great risk of charges for religious speech. Now listen here. Here's where it gets dangerous, because if you start reading this, and you say, well, yeah, I mean, okay, it won't be that bad, but here, what kind of religious speech will put me at risk of charges? This is difficult to know in advance. The religious speech in question would need to be used to incite hatred in a public place against an unidentifiable group, blah, blah, blah. But let's take a look at the first sentence, and I'll tell you why the rest of it doesn't matter. Because the first sentence says, this is difficult to know in advance. So let me tell you what this really says, is that they can use your religion as a way to shut you up. Because, of course, if we're going to be talking about our religion, it's our belief system, okay? It's our belief system, everybody. And here's the thing. Let me tell you, who are the people that are going to be deciding what type of religious speech will put you in charge? What kind of people are going to be deciding? Or you're going to have these politicians, and you got and then you're gonna have this lady. You're gonna have this lady right here, and you're gonna have and you got what is it, Sarah McBride? You got these trannies the other side. And I'll tell you, this is Canada right now, of course, and I'll tell you why it's concerning. Because let me tell you something, the Democrats at some point will be back in power. And these liberals are coming for Christian. I mean, if you can't, they try to hide the fact that so much of this trans violence is directed at Christians. Like the elementary school children that got shot, and they tried to hide this manifesto for so long. And it's because this whole belief system is based, listen, and the poor kids that this is being pushed to are kids that are psychologically like in a bad spot, which a lot of kids are now, because it's weird, right? And then they come to and say, well, maybe you're kind of fucked up because you're in the wrong body. Dude, kids are impressionable, okay? And they know that shit. Kids are impressionable. And they think that they can come to these kids because, look, they have to indoctrinate. They have to. Otherwise, their whole cause dies, because ain't nobody making no babies, are they? So they have to indoctrinate, okay? And kids are impressionable. You take a kid that's in a bad spot, trying to figure out who they are, and they've got a bad home life maybe, or, they've got really low self-esteem, they got a weight problem or something, and they're in a really bad spot, man. You can't make friends, and then you have one of these fucking fruitcakes that comes to them and says, you know what, well, maybe maybe you feel so bad because you're in the wrong body. And kids, maybe so, maybe so. So, what you do, start pumping them full of these drugs, these hormones, and, it's horrific. I've seen a couple of the interviews that have been done with, the two that I read were females that were transitioning to male, and they had already had the removal of their breasts. And I believe both of the stories I read, they were 15 or 16 when this was allowed to happen. And now they were in their 20s. And, they're talking about the suffering that they're going through now. Um, you know, After realizing that, oh, I am a woman, I want to be a woman. Um, and now, one girl was talking about how painful it is for her to go out and see other women with their natural breasts and know that she, was allowed to mutilate her body as a child. And there's no other way around it. And it's because this movement and all of this self mutilation and gender ideology is satanic. Okay, it's satanic. There's no other way around it. It's satanic, as in Luciferian, as in Beelzebub. Okay, there's no um, soft way to put it. There's no other truth. There's no other truth. It is what it is. And that's why if your church has a pride flag up, it isn't a church. It's a synagogue of Satan. And represent the Baphomet, the transgender god of this gender ideology here. Um, you know, it's, and it's all about, like I said, it's all about indoctrination because they need this movement. Oh, look, we're working on Facebook now, so we'll be on Facebook Live now as well. So, but there's no other way around it, guys. It's a satanic movement, and this will be coming to America. And I'll tell you why it's going to be coming to America once again. The Democrats will be in control again. And during the Biden administration, they were already making moves that were going to lead to the persecution of Christians, including classifying Catholics as cult members. That's what they're going to do to us. And even in this, Greater Israel project, where they're going to, be the seat of power and everybody will be fine if they follow the Noahide laws. And you read the Noahide laws, well, they're fine, we can do that. Well, one of the Noahide laws is the forbidden of idolatry worship. Well, the Jews consider Christians idol worshipers. So at the end of the day, there's a clash coming. And guys, the reason I do this show is because what I think has to happen to ensure the survival of our Appalachian communities is that we come together as communities to work on food and water security. I wish that we could institute some type of war garden mandate or something in our local communities, but we come together to work on food and water security and on communication, on actually having a community. People have lost that ideal, and not enough people know how severe the position is that we as humanity are in. Nobody is going to survive the coming events alone. We're going to need a community. And all your money and all your material things aren't going to be worth anything at all. So, it's just time to get ready. Who's outside with the baby? Oh, yeah, there's Tiffany. I've seen baby fat. All right, and let's go look at Let's see. All right, here you go. We want to talk about um, this task force that President Trump was set up to combat some of this anti-Christian bias that was within the Biden administration. Um, Today, the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias published a report detailing how the Biden administration's prosecution policies and practices demonstrate anti-Christian bias throughout the federal government in accordance with Executive Order 14202. The acting Attorney General serves as chair of the task force, and the Justice Department coordinated this significant interagency effort. Okay, and I'm not going to read through everything. And we'll put these. We'll do a dot by dot kind of like checklist on the way to the persecution of Christians about what's happening, what's still happening, and we'll do a show on that. But what we're getting at is that this was happening already, and Democrats will at some point regain power. They're going to try to push for this. But here's the thing: I want you to always remember this: is that Satan knew. Okay, Satan knew. Satan knows that he cannot defeat Christianity. So what his plan was to create an inverted Christianity, create a mock Christianity that's so close that people can't even tell the difference. And that's where you get these churches with the pride flags up, because people say they go down this road of oh, Jesus died for your sins. It's everything. You don't have to worry about anything. You do whatever you want. You're good. Okay, Jesus gave us commandments. You literally just have to read like a little bit of the Bible to figure out that yes, Jesus died for your sins. You have a chance at salvation now because of that. But dude, you can't just go out here or do all but you want, and like, no, read it. Just read. Um, but we got a problem. We got a problem, and it's not going to get fixed. Our country, I do believe, and I love our country. It actually breaks my heart to see the things that are going on, but I do not think that we will survive as a unified entity. I don't think it's possible. I believe that we will have to be broken up in some way, shape, or form. And the purpose of the Justang Show, the purpose of my writing, everything is to ensure that Appalachia stays a Christian nation, focused on the nuclear family, focused on lineage, focused on personal liberty, um, because I'll be damned, like, and it will, because I think that they know that. I think they know that the Appalachians are the strongest group of people in this country. And I think that a lot of things were done directly to weaken the Appalachian region. And I want to do a show on that. We're going to touch on Hurricane Helene and the Oxycontin uh, pandemic, um, you know, and how that destroyed our region. And I think that we'll put that together for Wednesday night. And those of you who haven't followed, man, please follow and subscribe. We'll be back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. And also do some gaming content. I always try to do some gaming content. That was originally the purpose. I went to Full Sail University and didn't get to finish. So I try to still keep up with the industry,